Hello everyone, it is I, the Frenchiest Fry.
Is this what your videos are? Just 2 hours footage of you blipping around with like 10 minutes of chatting?
Yeah. Hello everyone, my name is Miranda, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Asian Readathon, which is taking place in May. It's great. Basically it's run by Cindy from, I think her channel name is Read with Cindy, maybe? Yeah, she's great. She's one of my faves, my fave YouTube book people. And basically this readathon is just read all the Asian literature you can, which is great fun. I did it last year and it was really cool and I read lots of good books. So yeah, the challenges and prompts and everything have been announced, and I'm gonna go through my TBR, which is ridiculously big, because, well, basically all my uni work will be over by the beginning of May, pretty much. So I'm using the month of May to be like, I'm gonna read all the time to celebrate escaping. It's gonna be great. So there are 5 prompts, and I think you can combine them in any way you like, into, you know, so you can read one book that fits for all 5 prompts. But one of the rules is that for a book to count for a separate prompt, it has to be written by someone of a different ethnicity. So you can't fill all the prompts with books just written by Japanese authors, for example. So yeah, reading diversely is the goal. So I'm going to go through my planned reads for all 5 prompts, who the authors are all from different places, and yeah, I'm going to tell you a bit about them, and then I'm going to go through my extended TBR of like maybe books that I will get to, extra books that are outside of the prompts, that I'll get to if I feel like it, and then maybe a couple of recommendations at the end. Whoop whoop, let's go. The first prompt is read any book by an Asian author, which obviously I could combine with any of the other prompts, because all of my books are written by Asian authors. But for this one specifically, I've chosen America Is Not the Heart by Elaine Castillo, because I really want to read it. And yeah, I've heard some really amazing things about this recently on YouTube, and I'm very excited about it. I really don't know what it's about. I can't remember what it's about, but it sounds fun. Yay. This is why I don't do hauls or TBRs or anything, because I'm like, I don't know anything about this book, but I'm excited about it. I mean, the first line of the blurb is Hiroda Vera arrives in America, disowned by her parents in the Philippines, which sounds fun. Yeah, I'm excited about it. That's what we're going to be hearing today. I'm excited about it. The next prompt is read any book featuring an Asian protagonist, and for this I'm reading Burnt Sugar by Avni Doshi. This book has been longlisted for the Women's Prize. I think it was longlisted or shortlisted, maybe? Shortlisted for the Book Prize last year, and yeah, I've heard mixed things, but when I got sent the entire Women's Prize longlist as a giveaway, because I'm cool, and yeah, so obviously this was in here and now I have it and I'm like, great, an opportunity to read it. And I do really want to get around to as many of the Women's Prize long-listed books as I can. I'm not going to read all of them before the winner is announced. That's just not going to happen, because I think I've only read one still, so yeah, this will be another one of those, and I'm very excited about it. It sounds really cool. As far as I know, this book is about a woman caring for her mother in her kind of old age, but she doesn't really want to care for her mother because her mother didn't care for her as a child, and that sounds like a really interesting dynamic. So yeah, I'm intrigued. The next prompt is read any book written by an Asian author in your favourite genre. So I could have chosen many genres for this, but I went with historical fiction, and How Much of These Hills is Gold by Zhang, with beautiful sprayed edges. Tasty. Yes, again, this is one that I've heard lots of good things about, longlisted for the Booker Prize. It's about the Wild West, I think, with Chinese immigrants. I don't know much more about it than that, and it sounds really fun, so guess we'll read it. The next prompt is read any non-fiction book written by an Asian author. So for this I've chosen Inferno by Catherine Cho. Grace from GK Reads, who I mention all the time, reviewed this on her Instagram and talked about it in her some recent videos, and it sounds incredible. It's about it's a memoir about motherhood and mental health and kind of psychosis and memory loss, and it just sounds brilliant and everything I could want in a memoir. So I'm very excited about this. Yeah, I went and bought it a few days after she recommended it because I was like, I need that in my life. So yeah, and Asian Readathon, perfect time to read it, so can't wait. And the last of the 5 prompts is read any book written by an Asian author that's not US centric. So for this I've chosen a book written by a Japanese author in translation, and that is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. So yeah, I've been meaning to read this for a while. I love Japanese fiction, and I mean what I've read of Japanese fiction, and yeah, this seems really lovely and kind of, I don't know, interesting kind of tales of sort of time travel, but also like a nice cafe. I don't really know, but it sounds really lovely, and I've heard lots of good things. And my flatmate has a copy, and I want to read it. And it's got a cat on the cover. How nice. So those are all the books that I plan on reading to kind of fit with the 5 prompts. But I'm also going to mention other books that by Asian authors that are on my TBR that if I get through all those 5, which I might do, who knows, maybe in May my reading rate will just go whee, as it, you know, hasn't done in April. So first we have Postcolonial Banter by Suhaiymah Manzoor-Khan. This is a poetry collection that my mum got for me for my birthday, and I really don't know much about it apart from it's somehow post-colonial poems. I don't know, I really don't know anything about this, but I have it on my shelf and I would quite like to get to it. Then I have Where the Wild Ladies Are by Matsuda Aoko, translated by Polly Barton, and yeah, this is a collection of retellings of Japanese ghost stories, retold in a kind of modern feminist way, which sounds like everything I could ever ask for, basically. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Then I have The Reluctant Fundamentalist by Mohsin Hamid. Yeah, I really don't know much about this book apart from that I think it's a conversation, and I think Lena Norms really recommends it. I can't remember if it was her or not that I heard about it from, but yeah, I really enjoyed the other, well, I read Exit West by Mohsin Hamid a few years ago and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good and really well written. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by this, and I think this is his more like famous one, so yeah, I'm interested. I have Pachinko by Min Jin Lee, which I also picked up the other day when I got Inferno by Catherine Cho. I went to Book Bar in North London and got some books. It was my first time back at a bookshop after lockdown, so I broke the no buy because I can. Anyway, yeah, this is a book that I've really wanted to read for a while. It's quite chonky, but as far as I can tell, it's kind of like historical fiction, kind of family epic about a Korean family in Japan, and that's all I know about it, and I really want to read this. I have a feeling it'll be like one of my absolute favourites. Yeah, I just have a feeling about this. Then books that I might potentially get to because they're on script but I don't have physical copies include Klara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. I read Never Let Me Go, loved it, and I haven't read anything else by him since, so I'm excited about this and it sounds really fun and interesting. So yeah, I might get to that on audiobook, but equally I might also read, what's it called? The Black Tides of Heaven by Neon Yang, which is kind of fantasy novel, I think, and I don't really know much about it. I can't remember what it was that drew me to it. I just know that I want to read it, and it's fantasy, and the audiobook is on script. Those two are probably the most likely audiobooks that I will listen to throughout the month. I also would quite like to read Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha and Ngan, because I read, what's it called? Girls of Paper and Fire last year for the Asian Readathon, and I still haven't got to the sequel yet. And I really want to, because I can't leave it that long because I won't remember what happened in the first one. So I might have to buy it. I might have to. My hand is being forced here. Anyway, so that is my extensive TBR that I won't get through, but I don't care. Yeah, I just want to run through a few recommendations that maybe you want to pick up during the month of May. Although I will say, if you are looking for like a proper bunch of recommendations, go and find some Asian booktubers and watch their videos, because I'd rather you read their recommendations than mine. I'm going to recommend you a whole bunch of different books in lots of different genres, because who knows why, I don't know. Firstly, anything by Yoko. We know I love her. I've read Revenge, which I didn't love that much, but it's still really good. The Memory Police and The Housekeeper and the Professor. Christ, that's hard to say. The Housekeeper and the Professor. So yeah, any of those are excellent. Another Japanese author that I have to mention, of course, is Sayaka Murata. I love both these books. They're both excellent. You've probably read them already. And if not, why not? Do it. Especially this one, because this one's terrifying. So, in terms of fiction, if you want something that is character driven and literary, but still kind of fast paced and propulsive, let's say, I'm going to recommend to you A Burning by Megha Majumdar and Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi. They're both great. I liked Home Fire more, but again, that's like one that lots of people have read. So yeah, but if you haven't read it, read it. Then some books that I read for my postcolonial literature module last term that I would recommend if you're interested in kind of like postcolonial literature or history, or kind of like, yeah, historical fiction. There's This Earth of Mankind by Pramoja Anantatur, which is about Dutch colonisation of Indonesia. We got there. And then Kanthapura by Raja Rao, which is about the kind of Indian struggle for independence, and kind of how Gandhiism and peaceful protest comes to one village and kind of impacts the people in that village. And then also The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy, which is my favourite of the three, and is excellent, and is about kind of, you know, post-colonial times, but how colonialism is still kind of affecting India years after independence. If you want something kind of cosy and funny and family related, I would go for This Green and Pleasant Land by Aisha Malik. It's a really fun time about a Muslim family in a small English village. If you want something long and epic and sweeping, go for The Parisian by Isabella Hamad. It's not my favourite book I've ever read. It's not like a perfect book, but I think it is really good and lots of people would really enjoy it. Then if you want a book that is kind of set in our world but has a little extra something going on, I've mentioned these two already, but Exit West by Mohsin Hamid and Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. They're both great and I would recommend them both. Okay, that's it for fiction. If you want a graphic memoir, Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. It's a classic. It's great. Read it. If you want poetry, If They Come For Us by Fatima Asghar is beautiful, beautiful poetry, as is Wild Embers by Nikita Gill. If you want really creepy, odd short stories that you won't have any idea what's going on, but they will really mess you up, Where Europe Begins by Yoko Tawada. is an excellent collection. Then if you want YA fantasy, Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha and Ngan, which I mentioned earlier, it's great. I read it last year and I really enjoyed it. The world building is excellent. And lastly, if you want a memoir that is inspired by fairy tales and is kind of fictional retellings of myth and memoir all in one, that's a really bad description of it, but I would recommend The Woman Warrior by Maxine Hong Kingston, because it's excellent and very unique, and I think more people should read it. So there you have it, my TBR and some recommendations for this year's Asian Readathon. I love this readathon, I'm so excited. Yeah, kind of the thought of May and this readathon and like getting to all these books is kind of propelling me through like the last couple of weeks of writing my essays for uni, which is really all I'm doing right now. It's tough, but we're doing it, we're getting through. Please let me know if you're gonna participate in Asian Readathon, if there are any books that you plan on reading or any books that you'd recommend. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this and I will hopefully see you soon. When once my essays are done, I will hopefully be seeing you a lot more often than I am at the moment.